Putin's anxiety has reached the ceiling. On the 7th of October, 2024, Putin made news when he demolished his vacation palace worth $1.3 billion.
And finally, Putin has reportedly demolished his lavish Black Sea villa due to fears of Ukrainian drone attacks. A symbol of power and luxury, the presidential palace had become a target for Kyiv.
There's no doubt that Putin is one of the most protected leaders in the world. But in recent months, the frequent drone attacks from Ukraine have raised great concerns about his safety. So what measures has Putin taken in ensuring he is secured? And will this be enough to stop Ukraine's drones? The war in Ukraine has not only affected Russia, it is also taking a toll on Putin. Recently, a Ukrainian drone reportedly damaged a helipad at Sochi's airport, just 15 miles away from Putin's palace, Bokharov, Russia. The palace was Putin's vacation home. However, recent reports state that Putin has not visited the place in over 7 months, and now Putin has demolished the building.
According to the investigation by the Proect media outlet, journalists noted that Putin had not visited his Sochi residence for the past 7 months, which had not occurred for at least 10 years.
This is quite shocking, considering the fact that the Bokharov Russia was believed to be Putin's favorite, and it was said that he spent up to 37 days every year in the villa. But now, due to security concerns, Putin is making changes to his lifestyle. A prime example of this was when Putin decided to change the tradition of celebrating the birthday of his longtime partner and alleged mother of his 2 sons at the Black Sea residence.
The investigation's authors stated, the dacha, called Bocharov Ruchi, had been considered perhaps Putin's favorite villa. Data from the Kremlin showed that he used to spend as many as 37 days in a year in the dacha, hosting foreign guests and celebrating birthdays with his secret lover, the Russian gymnast Alina Kabayeva, and their 2 sons. But Ukrainian drones have been striking Sochi with increasing frequency over the past 12 months. This appears to have spooked Putin, who has only visited Bocharov Rushi once this year, in March, to host Rafael Grossi, head of the UN's atomic agency.
To avoid keeping a predictable routine, Putin has canceled all of his visits. If the Ukrainians are bold enough to bomb just 15 miles away from his Black Sea coast residence, Putin believes that they could as well strike his home. And it's not just about the airport. In May of 2023, Ukraine allegedly sent 2 drones to attack the Kremlin.
Russia claims that Ukraine tried to kill Vladimir Putin in the early hours of Wednesday. This is the first video we have. It's in Moscow. We see an object fly in from the left and explode. Now, let's play it again and pause here. We know this is Moscow because this is Red Square. Here's a recent picture of the same place, with the Kremlin wall in the background and stands for next week's victory parade. You can see those stands in the video too.
Although these drones were shot down, it raised further concerns about Putin and Russia's security, showing that Ukraine was ready to do whatever was necessary to assassinate Putin. Putin has also taken measures to ensure the secrecy of his travels. Usually, a presidential plane keeps its transponder on to remain visible on radar. However, Putin has changed this rule. The pilots have begun switching off the transponders during flights, and there's also reports that Putin has canceled traveling by planes altogether. He has decided to travel only by armored trains.
Putin is paranoid about being assassinated and has reduced his travel commitments since he invaded Ukraine in 2022. He prefers to travel by armored train if possible and has cut air travel.
As much as Putin is frightened by outside attacks, he is also very cautious about traitors in the Kremlin, and he has begun taking steps to ensure there is no disloyalty or incompetence in his government. An example of a recent display was when Putin removed Sergei Shoigu from his post as Russia's defense minister. Sergei was once a trusted ally of Putin. However, as Putin's paranoia increases, he has found it hard to rely on the people in his circle.
Sergei Shoigu's future seemed up in the air as Vladimir Putin was inaugurated for his latest term in office. But on Sunday, the Kremlin confirmed that Shoigu would be moved from his post. Shoigu is a longtime ally of President Putin. He was appointed to the position of defense minister in 2012, and he has close personal ties to Putin. very publicly taken the president on multiple hunting trips to his homeland in southern Siberia. But recently, Shoigu has become deeply unpopular in Russia. He's seen by many as being largely responsible for the early failures of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and rumors were rife that his removal was coming. On Sunday, Putin appointed Shoigu head of Russia's Security Council to replace Nikolai Patrushev. It's been seen as a demotion for Shoigu, and it's unclear what Patrushev's new role will be.
When this announcement was made, reporters stated that the Kremlin said the defense ministry needs to stay innovative. However, most people attribute the demotion to Putin's lack of trust in Sergei's ability to win the war. Although Putin's decisions cannot be questioned, due to his dictatorial leadership, the demolition of the Bokharov Rushi has raised concerns, seen as erasing a part of Russia's history. The Bokharov Rushi, known popularly as Putin's Palace, is a stunning estate on the coast of the Black Sea. However, there's more to the palace than just being a presidential residence. The Bokharov Rushi is rich in Soviet history. Built in the 1930s, Bokharov Rushi was designed as a Black Sea dacha on Stalin's orders. Put simply, it was an escape home for Stalin. Back then, it was common practice for top Soviet officials to have private escape and vacation homes. However, none could be compared to Stalin's Bokharov Rushi. Constructed in a secluded part of Sochi, south of Moscow, the Bokharov Rushi has it all. The estate offers stunning views of the Black Sea, coupled with the warm weather and gorgeous coastline, and surrounded by forest hills. In recent years, the palace has ensured Putin and other high-profile guests had enough privacy, especially during diplomatic gatherings. Foreign leaders and dignitaries often pay Putin informal visits to discuss political affairs, and the palace became the ideal place for such meetings, although the palace was originally built by Soviet standards. In recent years, Putin has made modern changes that enhance the design. Reports state that Putin added private beaches, infinite swimming pools, and expensive gardens.
Renovated several times under his watchful eye, and with quite the alleged price tag of $1.37 billion. The villa boasted a marble gym, a Japanese garden, and even a Moscow-style office to maintain the illusion that Putin was in the capital. Because why wouldn't you want your colleagues thinking you're working when you're actually lounging by the sea?
And above it all are advanced surveillance systems to ensure security. During the pandemic, Putin spent his quarantine relaxing in the $1.3 billion property. What is also quite interesting about the palace is the fact that despite the many photographs that have been taken, reporters only know little about the palace. The exact details on the layout and security measures are kept secret to this day. Only a select few, mostly top staff and close security personnel, know what really goes on inside. Although Putin has demolished the building, reports say that a reconstruction has begun, built with higher security and possibly a counterattack system for Ukrainian drones, to ensure his safety, the safety of his lover and their 2 sons.
While the world may see him as invincible, even he cannot ignore the reality of war. So Bokharov Rushi is no more. It has been sacrificed to Putin's growing list of security concerns. Because at the end of the day, it's hard to rule the world from the safety of your billion-dollar palace if you're too worried about someone else blowing it up first.
While Putin is busy reconstructing his palace and traveling in armored trains, the citizens of Russia, on the other hand, are suffering from the economic instability Putin's war has caused. So check out this deep dive, where I'll show you why Russian economy is done,